Hello, fams and famettes and of all shapes and sizes. It's chaoscards here, and I've got a big ass box. It's a box, a big box. It's a big ass box. Yes, box. And inside this box, I expect to find a plethora of trading card stuffs. And I've got my scissors sharpened as well, so I can open boxes to greater degrees of accuracy. If I can figure out how to open it. Ow. Good idea not to break myself with the pencil, with the scissors, wouldn't it? How does this box even open? Oh, I get it. I don't get it. We'll be back after these short messages. Oh, there we freaking go. So, time to unpack. Okay, thank you. So, what do we have in this box? Well, we have a dual decks from Magic the Gathering, which is the Elves versus Inventors. Mostly because 1, Legendary Creature Elf, and 2, Stuff for Goblin. These are 2 decks that I'm also making, which is really nice. And they apparently come with 2 60 card decks. Bearing in mind I paid 10 quid for this. So that's 2 decks for the price of 1. 10 tokens, which is nice. 2 deck boxes, which is nice. A strategy insert and 2 spin down life counters, which I believe are D20s. Which is cool! 10 more D20s. I thought they were I don't know why they call them spin down. Although they do spin, they are still technically D20s, right? So I was hoping they'd be like an abacus kind of thing. No, D20s. It's also fine. But we'll have a look at that later. We'll unpack. We have the Final Fantasy VII deck, because it was quite cheap, actually. Because the thing is, the chaos cards at the moment, they have a summer sale on. Please sponsor me, by the way. So I bought that, because I've been wanting one of these for a while. They're the decks are kind of expensive normally. And it's and I was kind of trying to build it myself, and it was but it's on offer. So, we have some Boras sleeves from Magic the Gathering, because there's 80-odd sleeves, and they're nice and they're official. Not as expensive as Yu-Gi-Oh! Official sleeves. We've got, how many did I get? Yeah, 3 Tapu Koko twangers, because they were super cheap. It's cheaper to buy them than actual packs. We have, to go with that, a shiny Tapu Koko box. Too much paper. Seriously, why do you put so much paper in this? Half of this box is paper. And another Hero Clicks board. This is the last one, and I'm getting it for my own purposes in D&D, because I'm GMing now, and that's actually quite useful. We've got 1 Iconic Masters, 2 Luck and Logic, and 2 Force of Will, they're and cool. Opening those a little later on. And we have some other stuff. So that's there's some uncommons from a set, and some uncommons from Hour of Destruction. So that's Hour of Destruction, and that is Oath of the Planeswalker, I think. Oh yeah, and more card. Just why? Why is there so much just cardboard? Let's begin. In this episode we'll do the magic and the other stuff, and then next time we'll do the Pokemon. Just to split it up a little bit, so it's not half an hour. Because no one wants to be sitting half an hour watching some guy struggle with scissors. Or do they? This is in the comments below. I swear, tape and cardboard. Tape and boxes are like my mortal enemies. One day there's just gonna be a D&D campaign where it's just me versus creatures made of... It's just gonna be me versus a giant Nintendo Lego, let's be honest. Already, I can hear the clacking of keyboards, just... a Nintendo Lego Golem Giant. Sounds good to me. Let's see, so we have... Cinder Barons, Step Glider, Essence Depleter, Eldrazi, yay! Another Glider, Seed Guardian, the name, Tranquil Expanse. This must have been like before they became commons. Null Caller, so vampires, Nissa's Judgment, put a 1/1 counter on up to 2 target creatures, and choose up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. Each creature controller plus 1/1 deals damage equal to its power to that creature. Wow. I like that, because Nissa is also an elf, which... Elf things. Void Grafter for Eldrazi. Strider Harness, gets plus 1/1/1 and has haste. And equip for 1. Not too bad. We have Rolling Waters. Return up to 2 target creatures opponent controls to the opponent's hands. Target player draws 2 cards. So it's basically a worse unsummon. Let's be real though! Tears of Valakut can't be countered by dulls or abilities. Deals 5 damage to target creature with flying. I hate flying creatures, so this is really good. Another Null Crafter. Caller. Allied Reinforcements. Put 2/2 White Knight. Ally creature tokens on the battlefield. Sorry, White Knight ally. I'm thinking about keyboard fuck warrior White Knights at the moment. Another Sea Guardian, Baloth Null, some sort of zombie beast. It enters the battlefield, return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Humans use pigs to hunt for mushrooms, don't they? It's like that. So it's like a Baloth that hunts things. I get it. A Wall of Resurgence, which is a wall. When it enters the battlefield, you put 3 1/1 counters on target land control. If you do, that becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with haste that's still a land. Okay. The Grip of the Royal, Surge. You may cast a Surge cost if you or a teammate has cast another spell this turn. Tap target creature to another untap. You control the next untap step. And draw a card. Interesting! Also, interesting mechanic. Another Step Glider, Flying and Vigilance. Target creature with a +1 gains flying. Oh, I get it. 62 +1 against ones. And we have another Eldrazi, another Cinder Barons, another Eldrazi, another Shredder, Devouring Flames. Okay, what's this do? This additional cost, return a land you control to owner's hand, deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. I like, it's a 3 cost, and let's be real, sending back manas to the hand isn't that bad. Sorry, lands to the hand. And Unity of Purpose, put blah blah blah, on tips 2 target creatures. Untap each creature you control and +1/+1 on it. Thanks, Jace, you crazy bastard. Faced with a novel problem of inspiring an army, Jace asked himself, what would Gideon do? What would Roy Buntano do? And we have another Eldrazi card. And another one. And another one. And Press into Service, which is a +1/+1 for fire. Control type creature. Might put that in my goblins, actually, you know. Gift of Tusks. Bonds of Mortality. Creatures and... That's just mean. Just, that's cute. Yeah, Hexer and Indestructible. Fuck you! I might put that in, like, the side deck for elves, at least. Thought Heart. So, more Eldrazi stuff. Roiling Waters. Tears of Valakut. Again, side deck for the fire deck. Null Caller. Allied Reinforcements. Seed Guardian. Ooh, Malakir Soothsayer. Which is vampires. Another Baloth Null. Another Cinder Barons. Is that a pyramid? Oh yeah, so Oath of the Planeswalkers, it must be another set in like the series involving a Menicat, right? Unless that's not a pyramid, that's something else. Looks like a pyramid there. I don't know. Cliffhaven Vampire, another vampire. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Orzhov exists. This is mean! Just, huh, you lose life and I gain a life. Oh, but because I gain a life, you lose another life. So every time you extort, your opponent isn't losing one life for each extort. They're losing 2. Which, with... that means you only have to extort 10 times to win. Essentially. Base health. That's not difficult to do. Nemesis Judgment. I love that idea. Step Glider, Cinder Barons, Strider Harness, Press into Service, another Eldrazi card, Pyromancer's Assault. That's a card I like the sound of. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, Pyromancer's Assault deals 2 damage to 2 damage to that creature or player. So it's a 4-cost card. It deals 2 damage, essentially. So if you cast, since it's a spell, because every card in the game is considered a spell, you cast this, you cast something else for like 1, say for example, you have the effective whatever that is, plus 2 damage. Let's be honest. When are you not casting more than 1 spell per turn? If you get this relatively early game, and you have, or say mid-game, you're at least going to have, say, 4 to 5 turns of using this. That's like 8 damage for 4 mana. That's pretty good. Also, that's each turn. So if you're playing 2 instants in your opponent's turn, still activates. That's a really nice card for an uncommon. That is nasty. That's just nasty. Alright, so what next? Let us open, obviously. Iconic Masters. So we've got Thought Scour, which target player puts top 2 cards of each his or her library in his graveyard and you draw a card. Massive Mutiny, gain control of target creature, put 1/1 on it, tap it, gains haste. Survival Cache, you gain 2 life, then if you have more life than your opponent, draw a card. If you cast this spell from your hand, exile it as it resolves. From the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast this card from exile without paying its mana cost. It's a 3 mana card. That's it. 3 mana for 2 life plus a potential draw. And you can cast from exile, which it either goes back to the graveyard and it just is there, or it remains in exile and you can just activate it again and again and again, maybe? That sounds a bit BS to me. Maybe that's not how it works, I don't know. Repeal, return target non-land permanent, converted cost of X to its owner's hand and draw a card. Not too bad. Duskdale Worm, which is just a 7/7 with trample. Typical Worm. Child of Night, which is just a basic vampire. Dragonbell Monk, which is vigilance and prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, gets +1/+1. Not too bad. Thessian Thief with prowess again, and when it deals combination play, draw a card. I like that. Dark Steel Axe, indestructible, equipped for creature gets +2/+0, and equipped for 2. An indestructible axe, which gives it +2. Not too bad. Elemental Thirst, Eternal Thirst even, which is vampires. We have Cologan, Cologan Monument, it's an artifact, which is a mana, and becomes a black and red dragon artifact creature with flying to the end of the turn. Red Eyes Black Dragon, anyone? Kinda is, actually. Cologan has no lasting home, but are disabled to leave relics and marked conquests, which become near tiny dragons as well, apparently. Coordinated Assault. Up to 2 creatures, target creature get +1/+0 and gain first strike on their turn. When it enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand, and it adds 2 to your mana pool. Let me repeat that. Fucking 2. I get it returns another land, but you get Say, for example, you return a land which has an effect when it is played. You're not minusing anything. It's an interesting concept, at least. And we have Charm, Break, or Devils. Beginning of your upkeep, return an instant or sorcery card at random from your graveyard to your hand. 6 mana cost. Also, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it gains +4/+0 to end of turn. So, it recycles, random admittedly, whatever, and it's game. And if you cast something, it becomes an 8/4. What? And we have Holographic Inspiring Call, which is a holographic as an uncommon. Draw a card for each creature you control with a +1/+0 counter on it. Those creatures gain indestructible. So, if you're playing elves, which you are, because it's green, you're using this as Judgment. That gives you up to 2 +1/+1. And let's be honest, elves also have some effects, which sometimes put +1/+1 on things. So, at the very least, so for example, you have a bunch of elves, let's say 5.5 +1s on them, and they get other effects from other elves. That's about 5 or so elves with indestructible, and you get 5 draws. Bearing in mind, this is a 3 mana cost card. Just 3. It's not difficult to get counters on things, and there's only 3 mana for essentially probably 3 draws. Even if you're just playing one of those, that's 2 draws and 2 indestructible cards. Even the 2 draws would be just fine. And our token is a Dijin Monk, which looks kind of cool actually. Tokens! Now let us carry on into our... We'll carry on into this one, which should be the stuff I ordered specifically. And as usual, the tape hates me. God damn it, tape! There we go. Also drop these. So we've got Aerial Toastmaster, because it was hilarious, and also contraptions. And I got 2 copies of that, and some half kitten, half... because I have some adorable kittens, and it's just gonna be half kitten, half kitten. Which is like, but isn't that all kitten? I don't understand. So yeah, half kitten, half something. And also Toastmaster, because he's a master of toast. Cyborg Rigger. And then we also got 2 holographic Necropolis Fiend, because it's a promo from some set. But it's like, exile so many, it's basically all about exiling. Exile so many cards from your graveyard and tap this, target creature gets --/- till it is a turn. Which basically means if you want to kill something specifically, you can. Which is nice. Also Delve, which means that, essentially, if you're smart, it only costs 2 black mana to summon. Or, you know. And, which is really nice. And we've got Clot Sliver, 2 of those. These are like the old cards, because I'm making a timeless Sliver deck. I have Talon Sliver, because these were like kind of cheap, so I picked up a bunch. And we have some Lymph Slivers, which all slivers have Absorb 1. If a source would deal damage to a sliver, prevent 1 of that damage. And also, I like this because it's a really weird design. It's like, that's the... yeah. It's like, okay. And the old slivers are really nice. And weirdly cheap for their age. I suppose because there are better slivers now that they're, you know... aren't they collectible? Question mark? Anyway, let us then look into our random app. Oh, crumbing basket. Yeah, yeah. Finally, we've got our 50 odd rares from our destruction, our something, our devastation. That's the word. And once again, tape hates me. First the paper and now the tape. Well, I got a lot of these things, which is really nice. So we've got Tenacious Hunter, which is -1 counter related. Quarry Beetle, known as Consign to Oblivion, which has returns the target non-land permanent to its hand, so unsummon. And you get another thing, which has Aftermath. Target opponent discards 2 cards for 5 mana. Ew. But I guess you can cast from the graveyard, so. Desert's Hold, which is for deserts, surprisingly. When it's on the battlefield, you control desert or there's a desert in your graveyard, gain 3 life. Enchanted creature can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Which is cool. Unconventional tactics. Target creature gains +3/+3 until end of turn. Whenever a zombie enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1. If you do, return this from your graveyard to your hand. Okay then? It's interesting, and I will definitely run that in my Mannequin deck, but what the fudge? We have Resolute Survivors. You may exert it as it attacks. Whenever you exert a creature, blah 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 blah. Deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. Okay. And Chandra's Defeat. Deals 5 damage to a red creature or red planeswalker. If it's Chandra, you may discard and then draw. Steward of Solidarity. Exert, create a 1/1 white blah blah blah. Dagger of the Worthy, which has Afflict 1. Okay. Eternal of Harsh Truths, which is a zombie cleric, which has Afflict. No one cares. Ominous Sphinx, which is a cycling related thing. And, a desert, which is one of the better deserts. Another Tenacious Hunter. There's a lot of rares in the sentence. The Vizier of the True, may exert. Obelisk Spider, reach whenever it deals common items to a player, put a -1/-1, and blah blah blah. Whenever you put one or more -1s, each opponent loses life and you gain life. Nice. Inferno Jet deals 6 damage to target opponent for 6, which is what, like Lava Axe? So it's 1 mana more than our Lava Axe for 1 more damage, and you can cycle it. But Lava Axe is kind of better? Question mark? What do you think? Is it better? We have Sunscorched Champion, which is a really nice card for the Amenaket set, because whenever you put it on the battlefield, you gain life equal to its power. And when you eternalize, it's more powerful, so you gain more life. We have Unraveling Mummy, which target attacking zombie gains lifelink, or target zombie gains death touch. So that's probably something I'll run in my Amenaket as well. Sifter Worm has Trample, Scries, and gains life equal to best card that you scry off that. Oh, scry 3 and then look at the top card, okay. Saving Grace, which has Flash, enchant creature control. When it enters the battlefield, all damage related to that to you and opponents you control is dealt to target enchanted creature instead, and it gets +0/+3. Okay. And we have Appeal and Authority. Appeal gives it Trample and gains XX, where X is the number of creatures you control. With elves. You might control, say, 8 creatures, which is easy, including tokens. That's +8/+8 and Trample. That's like saying to an elf, write the top of this worm, please. For, and I quote, for just 1 fucking mana. Just 1. And as the Aftermath, tap up to 2 creatures your opponents control, and creatures you control gain vigilance at the end of the turn. For 2! I think this card might possibly be broken as fuck. Then we have Supreme Will, which is counter something, or look at the top cards of your library. Desert's Hole, another one. And now we have another one. Farm. destroy target attacking a blocky creature for 4, or, and mark it, aftermath, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. In comparison, that's not that good. We have Liliana's Defeat, which, just, if that target, destroy a target black or creature or black planeswalker. If it was a Liliana, the controller loses 3 life. Okay. Doom Diviner, which gain 1, tap an untapped desert you control, you gain 1 life. Okay. And we have Struggle, which deals damage to target creature equal to the number of land you control. Ouch. And then we have Survive, which each player shovels his or her graveyard into his or her library. 1, that's really weird. 2, against certain decks and using certain decks, that's really broken. I like it. I might maybe run it in... It's probably better off running it in the fire deck, but I'm not entirely sure if I have any green mana in it. I guess I could use a Growl land, maybe. We have Fervent Paincaster, which is a wizard! Which I like wizards. You can tap it to deal damage to someone, or exert it and deals 1 damage to target creature. Oh, you can either tap it to deal 1 to an opponent, or tap it to deal 1 to a creature. Question? Why? I mean, it's a wizard, so it's going in the deck. You have Hope Diviner, which is a human druid, which for 1 mana and tap, untap target land. What's the point, though? 2. Oh, or you can exert it and untap 2. So you get +1 mana. Okay. And then we have another double curve, which is Claim. Return target creature card with a converted mana cost of 2 or less when you go to your hand. For 1 mana, it's not that bad. And Fame. Aftermath, target creature gains +2/+0 against haste on the turn. Not that bad, but not amazing either, depending on your strategy. And we have Steward of Solidarity, no one cares. Angel of the God-Farer, okay, cycling, that's kind of cool, no one cares. Dunes of the Dead, so it's a blank 1. When it is put from the field, from a graveyard into the, put into graveyard from the field, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Okay, but now in a second. Okay, pausing a second. Did you miss me? Probably didn't, because it was only like a couple seconds. Where were we? Oh, yes. The stuff we've already seen, is that? Where's the rest of it? Okay. So, we have Torment of Scarabs, which the player loses 3 life unless he or she sacrifices an online permanent or discards a card. Ew. Because that's kind of an easy cost to maintain. Omnis Sphinx again. Ooh, Crook of Condemnation. You can pay 1 and tap it to exile a card from a graveyard, or pay 1, exile it, and exile all cards from all graveyards. Which essentially says, fuck you! To this, the Amenaket deck, which is the exile from graveyard. We have Tenacious Hunter, and we've got Hashep Oasis, so one of the rarer lands. Add them to your mana pool, pay 1 life, and green to your mana pool. And for 3, sacrifice a desert, target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Activate this ability only when you could have cast a sorcery. And we've got Magmaroth, which is an elemental. Beginning of your upkeep, put a -1/-1 on it. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, remove a -1/-1 from it. Sand into glass and flesh into ash. Such are the markers in its domain. Now that's cool. The only problem is that although it's a 4-mana 5/5, the only time you'd really use it is in the --/ counter deck. Because you would essentially use it as a consistent source of - counters to activate other effects. So it's okay, but it's weird. And another -1, sacrifice it to start target creature with a -1 on it. Okay. And we have Vile Manifestation, get +1/+0 for each card. It's cycling in your graveyard, which is cool, and it cycles for itself. And also I run that too in my dark evil deck as it is. So and it's something since it's a 1 mana cost, 2 mana cost card, 1 if you're running the Amenaket. What's the Arrow of Devastation? Well, it's one of those that basically means that black spells cost. I think it's black creature spells cost 1 less, which is amazing. And Sunscorched Champion, which I'll be running in Amenaket, because it's only a 4 cost for a 4/4, which an effect that gives you 4 life. And Devotee of Strength, which is for Nagas, Saving Grace, which we've seen before. Upgrade deals 3 damage to target creature or destroy target artifact. So this essentially has the effects of Smelt and or Lightning at the same time for a 2 cost, which is actually kind of decent. For a 2 mana cost card, 3 damage isn't like that. So I might consider that in my fire deck. Resolute Survivors, which is again Exertion and Imaginary Threats. Creatures target opponent controls attack this turn if able. During that player's next untap step, creatures he or she controls don't untap, and you can cycle it. Liliana always knew Jace's illusions would come in handy. That's kind of a really cool Jace spell as well. And we have something called Doomfall. Choose 1. Target opponent exiles a creature he or she controls. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from it and exile that. This place has outlived its usefulness, Nicol Ball. Wait, so Nicol Bolas just like destroys like that landscape? Holy fuck! I don't need it anymore. Yeet. I love Nicol Bolas, such a crazy motherfucker. And then we have Shafet Dunes, which is the more powerful light land, I guess. So standard of blank mana, or pay 1 and get a different colored mana. And for 4, sacrifice a desert creature control, get +1/+1 to the turn. That's it. So for 4 mana, and you have to sacrifice the desert, which is a land. You have to sacrifice a land to give things +1/+1 as a sorcery. Ew! Just ew! There are better cards which pretty much cost 1 mana for the most part to do exactly that as an instant. Why? Why is this an uncommon? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I get it's a land with an effect, but it's a bad effect. And we have Vizier of the True, which, yeah, we've established that's not amazing. And finally, we will check out the deck and the dice and stuff. I'm going to stick this stuff into the boxes before we continue, just so I can get stuff out of the way a sec. Excuse me for a moment. Just gonna neaten up my workspace a little bit. I know it's a long video besides what I've said before. It's the no guarantee. Jack sucks, no guarantee. I don't need this box, I'm just gonna heat it. People in the comments will be like, oh no! So we get a black D20, which is weird. With the, I think that's the Magic Gathering actual symbol, isn't it? That little, or is that one of the sets? Or is that the Commander symbol? Wait, are these Commander decks? And you get a white dice as well. Which is weird because I have a black dice, which is essentially the same color as this, but the symbol is the Magic 2019 one. The white one, actually. The white one. Well, it's not even white. It's like a marbled white, which is nice. I just like dice, okay? So we have Azuri, Renegade Leader, which, for 1, regenerates target elf. 1. And for 5, elf creatures control get +3/+3 in game turn. That's just mean. That's literally just mean. I mean, it's legendary. Also, it's a legendary creature that only costs to summon. Let me remind you. All suits abilities are all mana based and it doesn't tap. So, theoretically, you can just go, cast ability, Storm Tone. This one in the hand, it's not.
and it's not even a legendary technically. Choose target artifact the player controls and a target artifact in that player's graveyard. If both targets are still legal as this ability resolves, okay, that player simultaneously sacrifices the artifact and returns the artifact card to the battlefield. What? So you're basically making your opponent or yourself swap some artifacts around. Okay then. So let's begin with the elves first. I got a second. We've got another legendary elf, which has reach. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever it attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. It's just mean. It's bullshit. I like it. Elvish Archdruid. All other elves you control get +1/+1. And tap, and each elf you control. Again, I reiterate. Ew. That's so nasty. That's so mean. Blade, Heart Cavalry, support 6, plus put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 6 other target creatures. So you know that Nissa card that we've got? That's at least 6. If you have this on the field, which is, admittedly, it's a 6 mana cost card, so kind of early game. That is 6 cards that you draw, and 6 things that have indestructible. Oh, and better yet, whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 and it dies, you gain 2 life. Also, it's a 6/6. Then you get it, 7 mana. But that's not difficult in elves. We have Regal Force, which is an 8, which is a 7. Yeah. Elemental, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each group. This is so... I was expecting kind of like, oh, you know, easy, not very good decks, which just kind of do things, like the sorry decks. No. This is mean. We have Sylvan Advocate, Vigilance, as long as you control 6 or more lands. Sylvan Advocate and land creatures you control get +2/+2. So if you have an awakened land, I guess. Also for 2 mana. It is a 2/3 with Vigilance. What? Oh, and you get 2 copies of it. We have Talaros Battalion, which is an elf warrior. Cast if you only cast another green spell this turn. It's a 4/3 with trample for 2 mana. Bearing in mind, this is elves. If you haven't cast a green spell in a turn, you're doing something wrong. Oh look, another legendary creature with Flash. You may cast green spells as though they have... It's only a 4 mana card that allows you to cast any green spell if you have Flash. Somehow this strikes me as being a little bit broken. Oh look, the Vastwood. Enters the battlefield tapped, and mana, or put a 1/1 creature, green creature at the end of the battlefield this turn. So let me break this down. We pulled out of that lot of uncommons an uncommon which had a terrible effect and made you pay life to get a mana of a color. This, and the battlefield tap, that's fine, gives you green mana specifically, and also has the potential to, instead of doing that, give you a +1/1 creature on a creature, which, given this deck, given the Nissa card, is pretty good. But they only get one of it though. Yeah, Elvish Aberration, which is an elf mutant, technically counts as a mute though, which, for a 6 mana card, gives you 3 mana for tapping it, and you can cycle it for a forest. That's a really weird way of cycling. Like, really weird. These must be fairly recent then if cycling's in it then. We have Elvish Branchbender, which I think I've seen before. Yeah. Target forest becomes a tree folk, which I used to have one of these. Like, there was a different version about like years ago, where X number of elves you control, which was good for its time. Fierce Empath, which is an elf. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library with a creature card of converted mana cost of 6 or greater reveal. So, for 3 mana, a way to search your higher mana shit, which is cool. Elvish Mystic, which is your land. Yeah. It's technically a card that pays for itself. Elvish Vanguard. Whenever another elf enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 on this card. So, more +1/+1s. Reach. Whenever it blocks creature flying, you get +3/+0. Nice. And you get 2 copies of that, another Branch Bender, for some reason. Ivy Lane Denizen. Whenever it enters whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under control, put a +1/+1 on target creature for 4 mana. Just not bad. And you get 2 of it. Cross-eyed Tusker, which has cycling. When you cycle this card, you may search your library for basic land card. So you cycle it, admittedly for 3, but you get a card from your deck and a land, basic land. I have Leaf Glider, which has it's a 2. It's basically like a weaker version of the other one. Lenore Empath. Whenever it enters battlefield, scry 2. Then reveal the top card library as a creature put into your hand. Okay. Dryman's Elite. If you control an elf, create a 1/1 elf warrior creature token, so it creates more creatures. You get 2 of it. Jagged Scards with power and toughness equals to the number of elves you control. Tap deals damage equal to its power as dark creature with flying. And you get 2 of that, which is nice. Shaman. When enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact. Decent. And forests, which actually somehow has some really nice artwork. I guess they're all to do with elves in this case. Maybe they're deck specific, I don't know. Forest. Ooh, we carry on. We have some Tranquil Thickets, which are lands that you can cycle, which is nice, actually. Although it enters the battlefield tapped, it's a land that if you've got too much mana, you can actually get rid of it. Interesting. Treetop Village. In the battlefield tapped. For 2 mana, it becomes a 3/3 green ape. With tramples another turn, it's still a land. Becomes Harambe. Lead the Stampede. Look at top 5 cards of your library and may reveal any number of creature cards among them. And put them in the revealed cards of your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. Interesting for 3 mana. Naturalize. Very generic. Nature's Way gains vigilance and trample. Deal damage equal to its power target creature you don't control. Okay. Nissa's Judgment. So there are Nissa's Judgment in this. Interesting. And we get a mirror token. For some reason. For some reason you get 4 of those. And an elf warrior. I don't know why we get mirrors. What's a mirror? What's a mirror when it's at home? Is it a mirror thing? And here is the deck box for the elves. Which is actually quite a nice deck box. So it's cardboard. It's still nice. Still put that carefully in there. Always nice when it comes with a deck box. Also one that has room for expansion for the deck. Or sleeves. So yeah, I guess the dual decks are like actual decent decks that you can use. Finally, I know it's getting on a bit in the episode here. I never thought it'd be this long. We have the Goblin deck, which of course has Welder. We have Pia and Kiran, which is an artificer. Create 2 thopters, and you can sacrifice an artifact and to deal damage to a target. So this is going to be about thopters. And immediately, my first thought is, oh, for God's sake, thopters. Thankfully, thopters are bad, but you get 2 of the same legendary creature, I guess because it's useful. Dark Steel Plate, indestructible, so like the axe. That must be the same. This must be from that set then. If we had indestructible, and I'm guessing this symbol is the deck symbol. I guess the arrow thing and the gear. That must be like a specific symbol for the deck. And if Mirror Battle Sphere, create 4 colorless mirror artifact creature tokens. Because that's what the tokens are for. Whenever it attacks, you may tap that many X untapped mirror you control. If you do, it gets plus X plus 0 until the end of the turn and deals X damage to target player. To player or planeswalkers attacking. So it becomes an 8/7 at max. And For 7 mana, it's a 4/7 that creates 4 other things. So if you think about it, sort of mana to creature percentage, that's like what, 4 mana. So that's like, yeah. Scuttling Doom Engine. That's like a giant crab. Can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or less. When it dies, it deals 6 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Solemn Simulacrum. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for basic land. Put lands to the battlefield tapped and shuffle your library. When it dies, you may draw a card. So it gives you more land power. Thopter Assembly. It's a Thopter. If you control no Thopters other than Thopter Assembly, return Thopter Assembly to its owner's hand and create 4/5/1/1 Thopter artifact creature tokens flying. I've also seen this exact Thopter in my local game store because it was I think this was used as one of the promotional sort of hey look at this kind of thing. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, which is interesting. We have Temple of Epiphany. When it enters the battlefield, scry 1, and you can add either water or fire. So it's a water-fire land that allows you to scry, which makes it immediately better than most dual-type lands. And Shivian Reef, which is basically one of those deserts in the idea that you either add blank or you add a water or fire and you take a damage. Ethereum Sculptor, artifacts you control gain cost 1 less to cast. When it enters the battlefield with Thopter. Scries. Ooh, fairies. I didn't know fairies could artifice things. Search for artifact converted to 1 or less, so Thopter most likely. Another artificer. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, if you do draw a card if you do discard. Treasure Mage, when it enters the battlefield, you search artifact card converted mana cost of 6 or greater. Isn't that the same thing that I pulled earlier, that dragon? Trophy Mage. When it enters the battlefield, you may search for an artifact with 3 or less. Okay. Oh, with exactly 3 actually. Whirl the Rogue, Thopters, and another one of those. Barrage Ogre. Sacrifice an artifact. Deal with damage on your target, so you're sacrificing the Thopters for things. Improvise. You can basically pay for 3 of its mana cost. Basically making it a 2 mana card. And also, it creates 2 Thopters. Oh god, is this infinite oh no! This is the Thopter deck that people hate. Or at least, a not quite so powerful version of the Thopter deck that people hate. And now I'm internally crying because I have this deck. You may have it deal damage each time on an artifact to control. Thopters! Ichor Wellspring, when it put into the battlefield, put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. Okay. You have 2 of that, Inventor's Goggles. When an artificer enters the battlefield, you may attach the goggles to it. Another Wellspring. When it's enters the battlefield or destroyed, you may search your land. Your library for land, put it in the end of your library. Weird. Mirror. When it dies, create another mirror. Open an artifact, wizard. Return target to your owner's hand and sacrifice it. Pyrite Spellbomb. When it sacrifices, it deals damage to any opponent, or sacrifice it with 1 draw card. Okay. Filigree Familiar. Oh, it's a little metal kitty! It's a little metal kitty! Oh, it's a fox. It's a cat in my mind, okay? When it's the battlefield, you may gain 2 life. When it dies, you draw a card. It's adorable, though. I don't care. Voyager Staff. Is that Thanos? No, it's evolved. It kind of looks like Thanos, though. Just a thin Thanos. Sacrifice Voyager Staff. Exile target creature. Return that exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control beginning next turn set. So it's basically a card that costs 3, or you just pay 1 for it to be just there and just scare your opponent a bit. And here we go. Islands. Island, mountain, Great Furnace. It's an artifact land. So it's an artifact on the land. So it's weird because it's basically a land. So the only benefit it has is it's an artifact, but it's kind of good, I guess. Also, it reminds me of Mordor. And artifact land. And those things. Artifact land with indestructible. for some reason. Oh, because it's Dark Steel, of course. And sacrifice foundry cards with thopters. You can add a blank or sacrifice an artifact to gain 1 life. Interesting. Draw 2 cards. If you control no artifacts, discard a card. Okay. Deals 2 damage to any target. Deals 4 damage to that planeswalker or permanent or player instead if you control 3 or more artifacts. Which is 4 damage for 1. And you get 2 of it. Whirling Sparks deals X damage, where X is 3 plus the number of artifacts you control. Shrapnel Blast. Sacrifice an artifact, deals 5 damage to any target, which is Lava Axe for 2 mana. And freaking thopters. Stupid. Can you tell I really don't like the idea of thopters, despite the fact that I have the deck now? I don't like thopters. I don't know anyone that likes thopters, except people that religiously play thopters. Anyway, this deck is going somewhere where no one will ever find it until the time comes when it is required. Like beating some git that really thinks they're the best at flicking magic, and I'm just like, I have thopters. Anyway, I'm getting too ahead of myself. So, I hope you enjoyed this little video of Magic the Gathering related stuffs here. This has been chaoscards. This has been... Ooh, hang on a minute before I... Oh, I thought it was a poster. I mean, it technically it's a poster, but never mind. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video here. Don't feel a little like if you did. I'm sorry it's nearly an hour long, but I did not anticipate it would be that long. I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. It's chaoscards signing off. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.